we got these four graphs, and we're supposed to match them with given equations. So hopefully you can see this one. It's a horizontal line, so the y is always the same value. F of x equals 1. Now, if you aren't quite sure of these, one way to always check them is you can start graphing these. F of x equals 1, that's the same thing as y equals, let's try it, put a 1. What is that graph going to look like? A zoom standard, we go number 6, gets us a 10 to 10. Hey, that's what it looks like. Okay, so we could go through and graph all of these. If you can sort of anticipate, though, by looking at it, like this graph here, hopefully you can recognize that's like a half of a sideways parabola. It is the square root function. And so as we look through here, there's only one square root. And so that is probably what it's going to be. In fact, it is what it's going to be. We can come back here and clear that. We can always verify square root of x by looking at the graph. That's exactly what it is. What does the absolute value function? Maybe we haven't graphed that before, but I'll show you if you thought it was that. There's a way to do the absolute value. If you go to math, and then you just come down here, absolute value. Is it? Oh, here it is. That's right, I forgot. Go over to number. ABS is for absolute value. Hit that, and let's see what that looks like. If you're not sure, what's the absolute value of x look like? And again, just get familiar with these different graphs so that you can see, okay, that's what it looks like. Again, you don't have to memorize all these things. Have your graphing calculator with you. You can pull it out and do it. You're going to have time. This one, we see that at x equals 0, it appears like it's trying to stay away from x equals 0. That's an asymptote. Asymptotes are happening whenever we've got like a 0 in the denominator. So it's one of these two. Choose one. I'm going to go with, I know it's 1 over x because it's opposite. The 1 over x squared, they all become positive, right? But again, we just check. Let's clear this out. Oops, clear. 1 divided by x, graph it, and that's what it is. Now, if you did go back here and you did it 1 over x squared, and again, you should know, be able to anticipate what those look like. That's going to go up there. But again, if you can't, just graph it, and you'll be able to get this one. This final one, so there's a parabola. This is an x to the 3rd power. So you should know your x to the 1st powers or linear equations, square root functions, 1 over x's, so these are rational. We talked about quadratics would have been a U shape, and this kind of, I call it like a saguaro cactus, 1 arm up, 1 arm down. That comes from x to the 3rd. And again, if you're not sure, best way to check it is we just graph it, x raised to the 3rd power, and we graph it, and yes, that's what it is. Okay, that's number 4.